Hi everyone, Ali here from Fibrewater and the Gut Health Gazette, and I'm so delighted to introduce Isobel. So Isobel and her family, and particularly your son Siggy, took part together with us on the 12-day challenge, which was over a year and a half ago. And I'm going to ask you to share about your experiences with this, but I'm going to say that from my experiences of what you told me and what you shared in reviews, what Siggy has shared, that that IO fiber water has made a huge impact in your lives and your health. So Isobel, perhaps you could share, just starting with yourself, about your own experiences and with your gut health, your digestive health, and then we can go from there.
Oh, lovely. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. So we took part in the 12-day challenge, and by the end of the 12 days, certainly Siggy and I both noticed a big change in our digestion for the good. And the main things with us is being intolerant to wheat and dairy. And we noticed that as long as we didn't go overboard, we could actually introduce a bit without having the detrimental effects of having to run to the toilet, basically. And so for me, it feels like everything's calmed down, and I'm not sort of constantly thinking, oh, if I eat that, am I going to have issues? So it's really calmed that all down. And I just feel, I noticed I felt better in myself and in my mood, and just, I suppose, just feeling like I wasn't having to run to the loo.
Yeah, that's a huge thing because it takes over your life and everything that you eat, and particularly when you're going out and you don't have that control. It's huge. So that's wonderful. I'm so delighted that the water made a difference for you. And I remember you kindly did a review about the water, and I believe you said that you were able to eat chocolate again, and you did it. Was it a taste test with a milk chocolate button or something? You were like, wow.
Yeah, yes, and yeah, and just being able to do that. Not, we all like to have a bit of chocolate, but when you can't have any, you just go, well, that's not really very fair, is it? And just sort of tested it out, I guess, and was really interested that I could have, a little bit more than just a chocolate button, and I wasn't ill afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, that's
So
so
that, yeah,
huge.
that was huge. And what we decided to do as well at the end of the 12-day challenge was, at that point, didn't really know what difference it had made. So stayed off it for a week. And by the end of the week, um, I didn't want to stay away from the water anymore.
Yeah. It's
There was a change.
yeah, I noticed that as well, particularly with my husband and mood. And if he's not drinking the water, I would say for him around 5 days, he just sometimes goes off of it, and I can really tell a difference. And his mood will sadly go downhill. But what a lot of people don't know and don't understand is that 90% of serotonin, which is the happy hormone, lives in the gut, not the brain.
Didn't know that.
Did you not? Yeah, yeah. That was one of when I was doing research, and when we are getting all the research together, when we were decide we're going to do the water, which was like 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago. Um, I was floored when I found out that 90% of serotonin is in the brain, is in the gut, excuse me, and 70% of immune system cells live in the gut.
Well,
So we know that gut health, and practically every day there's new studies coming out about the importance of gut health and for overall health and well-being.
mhm.
But when you realize the interconnectedness of everything going on, and that it all starts in the gut. And as you well know, we're all eating foods that are either highly processed, or even if we're eating whole foods, there's pesticides and residual stuff that's on there that we shouldn't be eating. And of course, that goes into our gut. And it's just huge issues are coming from it. Um, and no wonder food intolerances are absolutely exploding.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, even if we are eating healthier, there's it's you can't get away from it. Um, so yeah, it's I'm delighted that the water made a difference for you there. And I remember you saying that for Siggy, that his energy was better and that I believe his sleep was better too.
His energy, he works shifts, so his sleep's always all over the place. I'm not sure whether it might have been that his sleep was better. I can't remember. It's a year and a half ago now. He religiously drinks it. We do. We certainly drink a bottle a day. Or so a few months ago I went away and I didn't take any with me, and that was disastrous.
Yeah.
Only took about 3 days for it to feel not so good. So what I've tried as well is maybe having half a bottle a day, and that seems to be okay because I think obviously you've built it up.
Yeah.
So I'm going away next week, for instance. I can take some with me, but I want to take loads of bottles because I'm going to have a rucksack. So I'm kind of cutting down to half a bottle a day, and I'll take 2 with me because I'm only away for 4 days.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, that manages it. But honestly, having that, I think it was the 3rd day of not having any at all. I was in a bad way because being in a foreign country, I wanted to try every food there was. So I was knowingly eating things that I'm intolerant to, and when I'm drinking the water, I can get away with it, which I absolutely couldn't.
Yeah.
So I had to pull right back, which was a shame. So
I think a lot of people will relate to that experience. And I went out with a friend of mine the other day and we had Chinese and she was sitting in the car and she was like, "Oh my God, Allie, I need some of this water because she showed me, she's like, I've had to undo my trousers." Oh, she was so bloated.
yeah,
And so I gave her some bottles when she dropped me off. And then she messaged me an hour later. She said, "I cannot believe that the bloating is gone."
yeah,
Usually I'd be in agony for at least a day.
mm,
So the water, I think there's something very magical going on.
it's
and and I think the important thing is that it's the last thing we want to do is sound like this, that we're selling snake oil, because there's just so much out there. And that's really where we're trying to set ourselves apart with
mm,
our studies. And when we were doing the research regarding prebiotics and chicory root fiber in particular, which is the #1 source of prebiotic fiber, we were absolutely floored to find out that there's over 4,000 studies on prebiotics and chicory root fiber regarding everything from weight management. So not only is so I'll rewind. So not all fiber is prebiotics. It's a specific kind of fiber that's proven scientifically to feed the friendly gut bacteria, which are probiotics. So I always say to people, think of your gut microbiome as a pond, and the fish are the probiotics and the food that they need to not only survive, but thrive and flourish to create that healthy pond,
mm,
prebiotics. So if they don't have that, you can be taking your probiotic supplements and eating your sauerkraut, but without that special food from the prebiotics, it's not there regarding the growth
mm.
and flourishing. So so basically I completely forgot what I was going to say. All right. So it's about the scientific evidence. So yeah, 4,000 studies regarding everything from weight management. So not only does fiber help people keep fuller for longer, but prebiotic fiber actually switches off your hunger hormones. So that's kind of interesting. So for myself, I fast. Generally, I'll do at least 18/6, but sometimes I'll do one meal a day. And I know quite a few people who are also fasting using the water, and it helps them just sipping it through the day. And it's so interesting because that was one of the biggest issues for me. I could not get enough carbs and I could not get enough sugar. And I was like out of control. I
Yeah,
was completely out of control. It was
actually,
horrible.
and so on that point, yes, it wasn't a connection that I'd made, but I used to have a very, I'm going to say used to have a very sweet tooth, but I have noticed over the months it's not hard for me. I might have a bar of chocolate here and there, but it's not every day. It's not finish a meal, I need some sugar. There's none of that anymore. It's true that that's kind of gone. I also wanted to say, Ali, as well, because when I just drank that, this is my first one today, so not my first one, I only have one, but I haven't had any today yet, and we're in the afternoon, which is fine. I drink it at different times of the day, but I've just had a couple of sips and I've felt my whole body sort of go, oh, thank
You know
you.
what? That so many people, including myself, say that,
Mm,
and I fully believe that it has to do with we're starved for the prebiotics
mm.
and for the fiber. And as soon as you get that in, it's like they're going, yay, thank you.
Really
But
interesting.
it is the bizarrest thing, isn't it? It's
Yes.
like your body doesn't just go, yeah. And just to go back to the weight stuff, uh, I think you know that we're doing a study with the University of Roehampton.
Mm,
I tell you that, yeah. And so that's actually the study is up on the National Institute of Health and for a clinical trial. And so that was really exciting to see that. Um, although the results are still coming in, we've had the preliminary results in, and they have shown that the water has quote unquote significantly uh, improved weight loss, significantly reduced blood pressure, significantly reduced fasting blood glucose, and significantly improved sleep,
mm,
as well as noticeable improvements regarding stress, anxiety, depression, and eating less at mealtime, and cognitive function, which is interesting because there's that whole brain gut axis thing going on. You've just turned incredible pink.
the sun's come out. I can
Brilliant.
stop the sun, can I?
Wow. Well, I'm hoping Romney, our video editor, can help with this.
Maybe you can put a filter on. Oh, goodness me.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
it is what it is.
very
It's
pink.
called life, right?
Sorry.
Um,
Any more than that?
well, is there anything else that you'd like to share, or are we done?
Um, I don't think so. It's just that just overall calmingness of the body.
Yeah. Balance
Um,
is the word.
yes, more, yes, balance is a nice word.
Yeah.
And just, I guess, knowing that I don't have to be so on it with, can I eat this? Can I eat that?
It's exhausting.
It is exhausting. I don't take the mick, but if, when you're out and you might go, oh, there's that pudding or there's that, oh, that would be nice. I wouldn't normally be able to. Could maybe have a little bit, or, just, I don't know, feeling a little bit naughty, I suppose, but knowing that I'm going to be okay and not do the big bloating and the
That's
running
not
to the
naughty.
loo.
That's not naughty. It's life, and it's enjoying life is what it is. And I think that's so important. And just to share with everybody, this is a little bit about the background in our story. So Moss, my business partner and friend, and my other business partner, Jay, and Dave, my husband, they all couldn't eat certain foods, onions, garlic, dairy, gluten, cucumber for Dave as well. And so that was going on for them. And then me, all I can describe it out is a ravenous machine that I could not get enough carbs and sugar and crap into me, knowing full well it was bad. But that didn't matter. So that was going on, and my sleep was so disrupted. I was getting around 2 hours a night broken. Dave's mood, my mood, like just this horrible anxiety and low level depression that I couldn't put my finger on, but with my husband, it was quite noticeable. And so when we started doing research and relating that all of these things have to do with gut health, obviously digestive health, we're like, well, that makes sense. But all like the sleep and the mood and energy and cognition, that was eye-opening, as well as the whole immune system function stuff. So we started putting chicory root fiber into our tea. And because we found that prebiotics were the cornerstone to gut health and overall health. So we thought, well, we have nothing to lose here. Let's give it a go. And, like you'll well know when you take supplements. Well, for me, I've never had an experience of going, wow, that's working. Personally, I take them because I know that I should be taking my vitamin D and whatnot, but it's not like, wow, XYZ's happened from it. So I felt this balance that we were talking about. And I was like, well, that's kind of interesting. And then I was like, oh, I'm actually sleeping a bit better. So I decided to slip some green onion into a tuna fish sandwich to my husband, knowing full well that normally he'd be in bed with a heating pad on his tongue from bloating and pain from the onions. And he took his bite of the sandwich. He was like, are there onions in this? I said, yeah, but I just want to see. So like, yes, you're my guinea pig. I have nothing that causes me pain, but you do. So let's try it out. And he was fine.
Yeah.
And that was probably around maybe 4 or 5 days into having just a spoonful of prebiotic fiber in our tea. And so I told Moss, and we always relay the story of him having his trifecta of hell as the test, which was a cheese and onion sandwich, which normally would have had him like in a ball on the floor, curled up in pain for days with IBS. And he was fine.
Wow.
He went, wow, there's something going on here.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
Yeah.
No, I would say it's changed my life. That's the only way I can describe it. I don't want to not have some,
Yeah.
I know that if I've had it, well, I know because of being on holiday, if I have 3, it was the 3rd day. So I don't want to go more than a day, maybe. Sometimes I think, or I forget and it doesn't matter. And then the next day I go, yeah, I really want it.
So interesting. And I was speaking to somebody who gets the water on subscription. And what she does is she takes a bottle to work with her every day. And but she doesn't do it on the weekends. And we were chatting. She said, I always feel like by Sunday, I'm just a bit low. And I said, do you think it's just the Monday blues coming on? She said, no, it's something else going on. And I said, well, maybe it's because that whole thing of the prebiotics being out of your system for those 2 days is, making a difference positively and when you're not having it noticeably. So she started drinking it every day and she's like, wow, that completely turned me around. I do not have that Sunday kind of undertone of almost anxiety and lowness. So it's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. well done is all I can say.
Thanks, Isabel.
So glad I
Well,
met you and glad I found this.
oh, well, ditto. It goes both ways, and we're so grateful for your support, and thank you so much for coming on here. It's just about spreading the word.
Yeah.
And sharing with people that there are natural ways to improve their health easily and conveniently, and through Fibrewater is one of the ways that people are really experiencing improvements. So thank you so much, Isabel, for coming on, and I'll just end the recording now. So stop recording.